afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday of the 23rd week in Ordinary Time. It's so nice to be with you. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you did something nice for our Blessed Mother yesterday on her birthday. Maybe you went to Mass, maybe you tuned in on these YouTube reflections, but it's so nice to be with you. Well, just want to share some good news with you. St. Charles Seminary and St. Mary's Parish is partnering once again with students. In other words, St. Charles Borromeo Seminary asked St. Mary's Parish if the seminarians can come to the parish and be part of what is called an internship program, or we call it the apostolate, coming from the word apostles, which means one who is sent. Well, what do you think I said? Yes! Yes! So the seminary said, Father Bellopede, would you take 2 seminarians and would you allow them to have an opportunity to come to your parish and walk with you of a priestly life, of what you do, and to communicate with other people so they have an understanding, like a feel, an opportunity to know what the priesthood is all about? And I said, you better believe I would do that. Absolutely I will. So Kevin and Santiago are our 2 seminarians from St. Charles Seminary who are coming here on Thursdays, and they will go through a day in the life of a priest and have experiences, an internship, so to speak. You know, shadow the priest to say, Father, what do you do in this case? Or, you know, what do we do in that case? Because during the week, they're studying all about this stuff, the scriptures. They're studying moral theology. They're studying canon law. They're studying the sacraments. They're studying, of course, the graces that are received in the sacrament. What is grace? Do you know there's a course? A course just on grace.
Wow.
A course. Not like a session. A semester. A semester talking about grace.
Wow.
Because you and I will always say, well, just tell me the answer. The students dive into it. So, okay, they do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. They come to parishes on Thursday. And of course I said, bring them on. Bring them on. Let's have them. So 2 seminarians are coming here on Thursdays to have practical day-to-day experience shadowing a priest, internship of how it all works. Like we study at the seminary all this stuff. And I said, that's good. Now let's come and get the practical experience. And they love it. And we love having them. So what would be a typical day? Okay, I could tell you what a typical day that I'm going to offer them. Number 1, they already went to Mass at the seminary before they come here. So that's a given. They also are to say their prayers. That's a given. Then they come here about 10 a.m. because we're not around the corner from St. Charles Seminary. So we have to have travel time. Okay, so they come here at 10 o'clock and they teach in the school, which is a nice thing. That's the first thing they're doing. We're going to send them over to school, and one of them will be teaching in the First Communion class, and the other one will be teaching in the Confirmation class. Okay, makes sense? The sacraments. After Christmas, they'll flip. That one seminarian who taught First Communion will teach confirmation. And that one that taught confirmation will teach First Communion. It gives them a nice balance to see different ages of these students, and also beautiful to talk about their sacramental journey, right? So after that, then they'll come back here and we'll have lunch. But not just lunch eating. No, not with me. We're talking. So what happened? What did you talk about? What was your lesson? What were some of the questions the kid asked you? Any kids asked you any questions? What other means of besides just lecturing to them, what other means did you have to express your teaching? How do you teach? You don't want to just be a Charlie Brown teacher, wah, 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 because they're like, you have to entertain children, right? You entertain them in a nice educational way. You know, keep them popping up, keep them jumping, keep them, not physically, but I mean their minds, keep them active, like wanting to ask questions and thinking, make them thinkers, because at St. Mary's we say we want to produce lifelong learners. Did you ever hear that expression we use? We use that a lot here, lifelong learners. So we want these children to be lifelong learners of their Catholic faith, because many people are not. You know, they give confirmation. We're done! We're done! No more of this stuff! We don't want kids to say that with us. We want to say, I'm hungry for more. I'm hungry for more. I'm hungry for more. That's what we want. So we have a chance to eat lunch, and then we're going to talk. I'm going to talk to them about these situations, and I want them to ask me questions now. Father, what do you do with this case? Father, what do you do when a child says this? Or how do I best explain this? That's part of lunch. But see, it's not just lunch. It's part of me talking to them and they talking to me, and really getting serious about the work of the priest. How do we communicate the powerful message of God, the church, the sacraments to children? Lunch is over. They go upstairs, use the facilities, take a moment breather, and then they're off again. This time, they'll be meeting with members of the Legion of Mary. Now you may say, why? Well, because one of the important works of the Legion of Mary is evangelization. Susan knows this because Susan's a member of the Legion of Mary. Evangelization is very, 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 did I say very, important in the life of the church. Why? Because if no one introduces me to Jesus, if no one talks to me about my Catholic faith, then how am I going to know it? I'm doing it right now. This is evangelization. This is an important work. Why do you think I'm still doing this? I say to Susan, I love doing this. I believe in this, and I think it's necessary. I'm not saying that you don't know some of this stuff, but I want to equip you to be lifelong learners. I want you to be hungry. And I also want you to feed other people. I mean, the reason why I'm doing this is hopefully that you're able to feed somebody else, a starving Catholic, with the knowledge of the faith. Because you know what? There's a lot of starving Catholics out there that have no clue of how to be fed. And you're the one who's going to feed them. Because you see them at grassroots level. You're at the barbecues. You're at the christenings. You're at the birthday parties. You're at the funeral luncheons. You're at the wedding receptions. you're at the engagement parties and you're sitting and talking, and 9 out of 10 times it comes up in conversation. And you're the ones who have to be able to articulate, here's that word again, Susan, to articulate the Catholic faith. And don't sell yourself short. You can do it. You can do it. Talk to them about it. And if you don't know the answer, just say, hang on. I could ask my parish priest, and then I'll get back to you. And then you email me or email your parish priest if you're not from this parish, and off you go. He'll give you some good answers, and then you'll be able to respond to that person. But evangelization, I can't speak enough about it. It's not a movement in the church, it's a church in movement. And I always like to say that to people, because organizations in church, I mean, they're nice. Don't get me wrong. I mean, organizations and churches are nice. A lot of things are done by people getting together and, letting things really get done. But the church has always said, let's not have an organization called evangelization, but let the entire parish be evangelizing. How do we equip parishioners to take the message and just go off and do it? Like, how do we do that? I know even Legion of Mary, since we're talking about Legion of Mary, they have once a month a program set aside for evangelization, apologetics, and I'll explain this to you, called patricians. You would never know it from the name. Never know it. So what is patricians? I don't know if you ever heard of it. Please say yes, because we do it a lot here. Patrician is apologetics, or how to evangelize. So you have people witnessing. You have people talking about the faith. You might have somebody want to talk about marriage. You might want to have somebody talk about holy orders. You want to talk about the Eucharist. You want someone talking about the Sabbath. Talking about attending this Christian Sabbath, which is Sunday. You want to talk about baptism. Here's an example. I have a priest friend who is preparing a couple for their child's baptism. Lovely, lovely couple. So anyway, as they're preparing their child for baptism, their neighbor has a child who is a little older, and they find out that that baby is not baptized. Do you think they were like, don't say a word? No, first of all, they're very nice. They're very nice. They're not these like, they're very nice. No, they just said, oh my gosh, why isn't Joey baptized? Why isn't he baptized? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, don't worry about it. Here, I'm going to introduce you to Father. No, it's not a problem. Don't worry about it. He's very nice. Don't worry about it. So, introduce the Father. Oh, thank you so much. They're having the baby baptized. Evangelization. Evangelization. How do you do it? Well, for some people it's very natural. For some people it's hard. Some people just don't like to say, oh, how you doing? Is Joey baptized? No. And they say, oh, he's so cute. And they just go on their way. But other people say, oh, wait a minute. Here's a bulletin. I want to introduce you to Father. Come here for a minute. He's over here. Or if they go to the feast, and they'll say, oh, do you know Father? Oh, Father, this is my neighbor. Hi, how you doing? Father, their baby is not baptized, but he would love to have a... Oh, absolutely, no problem. Oh, really? Yeah, no problem. I'm not registered. Don't worry, we'll get you registered. Like, don't make it more difficult than it has to be, right? Mm-hmm. I know, Susan, you agree, but I mean, but people are like, they make it more of a problem than it really has to be. Like, you don't have to make it a problem. So, Legion Mary has patricians, which is, how do you evangelize? And I think it's important for everyone to come to that. So if you want to come to it, you'll read the bulletin and you'll know when the next one is. It's everyday apologetics. Like, how to explain your faith when people at a barbecue says, I don't agree with confession. Right. Well, how do you talk to them about that? Maybe you just need to have some kind of tools, and patricians help you. Or if you have an opportunity to be at a First Holy Communion and someone's talking about, as crazy as this may sound, well, I don't really believe that that's Jesus. Then what do you say? Or how do you say it without casting them out or making them feel horrible? How do you bring them around and say, well, let me talk to you about that, It is really Jesus. We really truly believe about that that's Jesus. Mary just received her First Holy Communion. That's why we're at this party. It's beautiful. It is a communion with the person and God. But not only the person and God, but the entire church, which is a body, it links us together. And it gives us the opportunity to afford us eternal life. Because Jesus says, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life within you. I mean, you could just talk about different things. That's why I said, how do we articulate that? How do you articulate that? Well, the seminarians will meet with the Legion of Mary, and they'll visit maybe a newly registered family. Mm-hmm. They'll visit maybe a communion call, or they'll visit somebody in a nursing home, or they'll visit someone who just had their baby baptized. So the Legion of Mary is a vehicle for evangelization to happen. And so what they do is they take the seminarians around for 2 visits. They'll spend time in someone's house and just casually talk. And the seminarians will begin to learn how to converse with other people, maybe outside of their comfort zone. Maybe someone who's sick, or maybe someone's dying. How do you deal with that? And it gives me a chance to ask them, so how did you deal with it? Were you nervous? Did you not know what to say? Have you ever been around a dying person? Did they ask you any question that you were stumped? What happens when we die? Or will God punish me? Or I haven't gone to confession. Would you hear my confession? Well, they're seminarians, they can't. But you know what I mean. It gives me a chance to converse with them about their practical home visits with people. And, since they're still young, they're in their 20s, it just, sometimes people ask some serious questions. And sometimes it's just to be there with somebody, to know the church is there. The church is there. Well, the Legion of Mary help because they navigate that way. And I'm so grateful for them. So grateful for the Legion of Mary. If anybody wants to join that wonderful group, I hope you would. I hope you will. Because it's a wonderful opportunity for you to do God's work, to open and prepare and navigate beautiful relationships with people, and to help people where they are, grassroots, where they are, and to bring them along. So That's what they do also. Then after that, they'll come back and they'll take a little bit of break. And then we'll pray. Evening prayer. And then after evening prayer, we'll have dinner. And then we'll talk. We'll talk about the church, the priesthood. Remember, you're talking about people who are in their 20s who want to be a priest and have to really hear God if this is really for them. Remember, once you're in the seminary, it's not a done deal. It's an opportunity to discern whether this is really a call from God or not. Maybe they're called to married life, but they have to figure it out. But God will give them the grace to know that. And they'll be with other formators. They'll be with people in formation that will help them. They'll be with pastors that will help with that process in our conversations with them. So after dinner and after the conversation, maybe the parish has a pastoral council. Absolutely, they have to be part of it. Maybe the parish has a finance meeting. Well, they better start learning how to do that too. That's the practical way, right? You can't have this unless you have the resources to do it. Maybe we're added patricians. And I want the seminarians to speak at the patricians because I want them to witness. Because they're not priests. Now, in the patricians, there's a segment in which the priest talks. So the priest doesn't talk while the person's talking, right? They allow themselves, the priest allows them to witness, to express themselves in their understanding of this aspect of Catholicism, right? And then after the break, we have little goodies. After the break, then the director asks the pastor or the priest to say, Father, would you now clarify any issues that might have been like a little bit, like off a little bit? Or would you please give us also a statement like about this issue, how to help us? Sure. And then I will talk. And then we'll close it with prayer. So it's nice. I think you should look to this in the bulletin. I think Susan also sends out a flock note that will alert you when another patrician is coming.
Yeah, next Thursday actually.
Next Thursday, see? In the annex room. So that would be very nice. Then after we're finished with the night event, whatever it is, the seminarians go home. It's a long day for them. But it's good. So we give them 3 sections. We give them a teaching section. We give them a home visit section. And we give them a parish section, a parish event. So just so that you know, how does the seminarians come here? What do they do? So they don't watch me sign checks or look at invoices, or they don't watch me do all that stuff. No, that's not how they shadow me. What they do is they get into a classroom and teach. That's the first. Remember, there's 3 for the day. The first is a classroom experience with children, because children are part of the church. Don't say that they're the future of the church. They are the church. You know how some people say, oh, the kids are the future of the church. No, they're not. What do you mean they're not the future of the church? They're the church. What do you think? You become the church when you're 18? You're the church now. They're the church. They're not the future of the church. They're the church. So he speaks to the children. And then they come back to me and we talk. Because we have to talk about things. Then we have an afternoon session in which they go to a home visit. It could be a sick call, it could be a nursing home call, it could be a newly registered parishioner, it could be someone just had their baby baptized. but it's a home visit. They come back, we talk, we pray, we have dinner, and then they're off to the third thing, whether it be a pastoral council, a finance council, whether it be Legion of Mary. It could be a parish event, and it could be really any event or something else. And they go to that. And sometimes I'll put them on the spot, and I'll say, well, Kevin, what do you think about that? What would you say? What would you do? If you were the pastor here, what would you do? And then if he's good with a good answer, I say, very good. Or I'll say, but what about this? And he goes, oh, I didn't think about that. Well, of course not, because you're not in this position yet. You don't know how to juggle all the balls that are coming your way. So it's good for them to, I want to hear what they have to say. And then by that time, it's 9 o'clock, everybody. It's 9 p.m. They have to go back all the way to St. Charles Seminary. And I don't want them to be too tired. I want them to, because I have to get up for classes and mass and prayer, because the next day is Friday and they're back to full schedule again. So I want them to be able to handle the demands that are asked of them. But they love to come to parishes, which is a very nice thing. So I just want to tell you about that, okay? So I'll see you tomorrow, which is Friday. And you know what Friday is tomorrow? Tomorrow is the 60th anniversary of St. Mary's School. We're going to have it live streamed, Susan? Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's going to be the 60th anniversary of St. Mary's School. And Susan, it's the beginning of the feast weekend.
Right.
It's the 95th anniversary of this church, the parish, I should say. So 60th anniversary of the school, Susan, but 95 years for the parish. That's right. So we've been around for a few years before the parish decided to have a school, right? So all that is really, really nice. And Susan made a beautiful retractable banner that will be in the lobby of the school. Almost like a timeline. So you have to come by. So you're going to come by to Mass tomorrow? I hope so. So we have Mass at 9 o'clock. And the kids will be there, their parents will be there. We'll have banners and streamers, and we'll have the teachers recommit themselves to Catholic education. They'll take an oath of fidelity, like they would teach the Catholic faith. Of course, that's why they're there, right? But I mean, it's just a nice formal way of recommitting themselves. And then after communion, we'll install the new student council. So that's nice. All the new student leadership. And then afterwards, the kids will go back to school and we have a balloon release. And then they're given a Philly pretzel and a water ice as a treat. So it's nice. And then that night, we're gonna have in parking lot B, which is the pond side, an outdoor movie theater. Beautiful. Susan and her committee are wonderful, wonderful. And I know you know that because you tell me how lovely everything we do here. Well, anyway, it's going to be called Monsters, Inc. And that will be outdoor movie theater for our people. So the campus will open at 6:45 and the movie will begin at dusk. I don't want to give you an absolute time because I don't want you to hold that to me. I'm just going to say dusk.
Yeah.
Dusk. And then the movie will be played. We'll have a concession stand. Mm-hmm. You could bring your own chairs and your blanket or whatever you want to bring, your pillow. You'll be on parking lot B. one side, that parking lot, okay? And then Annex Treasures, the attic treasures will be open in the annex rooms. Saturday will be the remembrance of 9/11, 20 years. So our Miss Peggy Hinson is working on that with me. We have Jim Rembitz with the bagpipes. We have some veterans who will be carrying the flag over to the campus flagpole. Do you know that we have a campus flagpole? We'll have the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll be ringing the bell 20 times over there. And then that evening, we're having a beautiful orchestra coming called the Blackbird Society Orchestra. Again, beautiful. It'll be in Father Hedge Hall, named after our third pastor, Father Hedge. So he's the one who built it. So we want to honor him in a special way. Well, anyway, it'll be over at Hedge Hall, and it will be the Blackbird Society Orchestra. Very nice. So we're having an orchestra. We're having an outdoor movie. What? It's just so beautiful. So outdoor movie theater, orchestra, and then the food is going to be substantial hors d'oeuvres. Now, I said to you at Mass, you know, for most people, that's a nice dinner. For me, it's a nice snack. But anyway, it's up to you whether or not, you know, you want to eat before you come or have dinner with us. But it's not dinner, it's substantial hors d'oeuvres. So that'll be in Hedge Hall. And Attic Treasures will be open as well. Now, we have 5 masses on the weekend. So 4 o'clock Mass Saturday, 7:30, 9, 10:30, and noon. And then on Sunday, we have the food booths. And we have different activities for the kids, and we have a train, a live train, choo-choo, with this smoke coming out of this smokestack. So it's really nice. So 18 adults maybe, or 18 children and 12 adults can be on the train. I'll be on the train in the back, because I want to be on the train, because I want to see all of you guys. And I said to Susan, it's best for me to be on the train, because then I can see everybody. And it'll be good. I'll get my steps in maybe another time, but I mean it'll be nice just to be on the train. So it's all of these things plus 50/50 and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you're telling everybody about this. So click like and share and volunteer. Many hands make light work. Many hands make light work. If you can't volunteer your time or your talent, maybe you could help us with your treasure so that we could do what we need to do to provide this, to celebrate 95 years of our existence here at St. Mary Roman Catholic Church. Have a nice day, everybody.